People 30s to 50s, what kind of hobbies are you doing these days? I collect hobbies like Pokemon, and my current interest changes like the wind blows. The gym, reading books, picking completely random TV shows or movies to watch. Woodworking, working on my project car. Going to local venues to see live music. Volunteering for local non-profits, etc. I'm always trying to do so much that I will die long before I ever run out of hobbies. For one, making music. It can be as cheap or as expensive as you want, and anybody can do it with relatively little effort, but you do need to be motivated to want to do it for fun. Aim for zero interest in playing live or achieving fame. Just like slowly learning the ins and outs, and getting closer to having a sound palette that I can listen to and go, that sounds like me. I feel you on the video game part, used to adore them, and maybe I will again eventually. Just doesn't scratch any itch I have these days. Every single waking moment of my life. Since I was 30. Now 40 if I am not thinking about my 2 kids. I am thinking about doing whatever I can to make movies. At all times, every second, every day before I go to bed. First wake up. Taking a shit, always thinking of ways to get my movies made. It's all consuming. I'm a slave to the process, and I can't accept no. It's a fucking curse. Sometimes I wish I could just be fine not wanting so desperately for this, but yeah. Doing everything I possibly can to make movies. Everything I did in my 20s and earlier: ski, tennis, hike, swim, other stuff which I'm still doing in my 70s. You can stay pretty fit right up until your time is up. But some people start to give up around 50 and it shows. You can really tell they're buying into a story that you're old. You can't help the grey and skin showing its wear and tear. But otherwise you can maintain whatever level of health you desire. If you're fat, forge about it though. Go get your Radiance and Ozempic prescriptions and have a Pop-Tart. I like building stuff. I'm always looking for something in my house to improve. Can be huge, like a bathroom remodel, or small like a new cat perch. DIY is like life motto for me. I save a ton, but I also have a to-do list that's 2 lifetimes long. I'm huge into home theatre, so I'm always improving my theatre room and making stuff for that. I 3D print random things. Working out ranges from basketball to weightlifting. ADHD keeps me bouncing between all of these and somehow thinking I could add more. Pretty regularly. Even if I'm very much just a casual game, I can go weeks without playing anything, and then spend like 6 hours getting lost in a game, and then go another week without touching it. If car camping, stealth camping type videos on YouTube, so I've begun doing a little bit of the car camping stuff at actual state parks. Not any stealth camping stuff. And it's enjoyable and relaxing. Late 30s male. Once it warms up a bit, I'll be out kayaking, fishing, fly fishing as much as I can. I'm currently really into RC cars. I put together a few Tamiya kits that I plan on racing soon in a local beer league. I also went pretty hard with the 118-124 crawlers. I went as far as building a rock course in my backyard for them. I'm a very mechanical person and love putting shit together from start to finish and admiring my work at the end. This hobby really scratched that itch. Carpentry, furniture building. Some cities may have maker spaces with whole wood metal shops, alongside laser cutters, 3D printers, etc. With all the tools, equipment you'd need, and you just pay a monthly membership fee to utilize their facilities. So you wouldn't need to invest into all of the tools. One fairly good example would be TX or X Labs in Houston. TX. Only downside is it's a costly hobby, I suppose, but can always try and sell what you make if you don't plan to use it yourself. 38YO here. Hiking, lifting, woodworking, beer brewing. Watching movies, shows with my partner. I have an unhealthy obsession with Halloween, so every September, October I work on props and fun things. I have an off-grid cabin that I've been working on. I have to haul supplies up and down about 200-300 vertical feet to the build site. I try to incorporate movement into all of my activities. except whittling and spoon carving. I can sit and enjoy those activities. Hiking, nature and architecture photography, watching TV movies, exploring new restaurants. I moved about 2 years ago, and I'm still exploring the local and surrounding area, so I tend to do that on weekends. Also, where I live in the summer there are a lot of flower festivals. They're usually pretty low-key, but they're a fun place to get a beer or wine and look at flowers and local artists' vendors. Also, I just turned 30, so I'm barely fitting into this margin FY. I thankfully have a job now where I can put in whatever time I want to. I work 40 hours a week but can do them when I want. I like the early morning shifts. Had a lot of evening time off for the first time in 18 years, so I knew I needed a hobby lol. Beer league hockey. Got myself into the gym and decided to learn to play chess with my brother online. I also decided to get into volunteer work at a local food bank, but I am waiting until next week to start. Exercising. The number of older adults who aren't really even that old struggling with common day-to-day tasks due to health is astonishing. I'm not joining that population well, at least not as the result of a controllable factor. True story, my wife and I attended our daughter's basketball tournament a bit back. It was hosted in a small Midwest town. The number of adults that struggled to ascend the bleachers toward their seat was jaw-dropping. 42 meters here. Games but at a far reduced rate. And as someone mentioned, I think I'm finding less satisfaction with them these days. Reading, especially at bedtime, working out, watching movies, watching sports. But, all that said, I really want to get into something new like photography, pottery, or cooking baking. Sometimes a little hard to find free time just for myself, sometimes with a 5-year-old toddler. Cycling. It's the best. You can mountain bike, road bike, or just rip around town. You'll see your city town in a new light. You'll get fit. You can do it solo or with friends. You can do short, easy rides or super long, strenuous rides. You can ride whenever you want. I live in Canada, and this past winter got studded tires for my bike, so I can ride all year long now. Bikes literally changed my life. Mid-40s. Finally financially secure enough to go to concerts, festivals whenever they are within 5 hours drive. Still play video games. This is a really good, maybe the best era for PC gaming. Fantasy sports. Home improvement projects like building a shelter with a bar, fridge, TV, fire pit. And chess, which I'm horrible at but less horrible than a year ago. Better to do on the toilet than Reddit. Greek tryout for game shows, been on Jeopardy. Taped an episode of The Weakest Link. Had to turn down to GSN shows because of conflicts and been rejected by The Chase for botching my interview. Also just hanging out with my kids. Haven't been able to play as much as I'd like, but I recently started playing golf. Had been going to the gym, but a bad upper respiratory infection a couple months back, but a damper on the gym. Started feeling better a few weeks back and plan to start back at the gym next week. Worked almost 30 straight days on a shutdown at work. And just finished up last week. Hunting and fishing also. In no particular order: reading, camping, hiking, fishing, exercise. Following, watching my favorite NFL team. My biggest one is video gaming TBH. I see you listed you're over them. If I have leisure time, it's my favorite. I have a bunch of friends from college who I stay in touch with on Discord, as well as my siblings who moved away, and I only see during the holidays. 49 cooking, traveling, partying, ying with pub crawl on Thursday, liquor tasting, and in the evening festival crawl on Friday. Relatively easy Saturday afternoon followed by big backyard BBQ and Sunday a weed and cocktails canal cruise. I do acknowledge that me and my friends may not be the most typical people in the 30-50 group. Leather working. Not only does it make my basement smell amazing, the tools are so cool, the leather choices are endless, and I can make basically any type of wallet, purse. It's been fun making mistakes, learning, and the end result. I also have a huge bead collection, so sometimes I also make jewelry. Also, I'm in my 30s. Not that it should matter, but I'm 33 and my dad is 57, and we both like cooking and riding motorcycles. He races dirt bikes, which I never got into. But we do both do off-road riding. We also both are hobby mechanics, i.e. we do most of our own work, but have enough sense to know when we're going to be out of our depth and should call a pro. I also lift weights, read and play guitar. Imga, 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 Imga. Winter gaming, snowshoeing, hiking, sometimes boarding, summer paddle boarding, climbing, kayaking, whitewater, off-road trail exploring, site and yard work, always travel, reading, writing, indoor jungle of plants. For what it is worth, I live in an outdoor adventure paradise. So there's lots to do if you have time, money, or desire. Fostering cats and dogs one species at a time though, as I'm not that insane yet. I foster the ones that have issues and work on their confidence, etc. It's so hard but fantastic to when they move on to their permanent homes. Which is why I alternate. So, I will have a dog for about 6 months, then a cat for 4 months, 6 of a pregnant queen.